We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.
We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because truth brings powerful transformation, and we are the voices of change. We are all about evolution on an expansive level, living life without fear and becoming the bridge between two different realities. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary. I'm a channeler and psychic medium. I'm also a hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers, and I work with MUFON doing regression work. I also work with PTSD experiencers, paranormal experiencers, and victims of crime to assist them in recall. I'm really looking forward to another amazing show with our panel tonight, where we delve deep to find out what's happening beyond the stars. Thank you all for joining us as we take an extensive dive into the whole new reality. There is so much more out there than we realize, and until now, we have only scratched the surface. Come with us as we explore the darkness of the universe and shed some light on the extraterrestrial experience. Disclosure is here. Now, allow me to introduce some of my most favorite people who are part of tonight's panel. First, there's Deb and RJ DeRoos. They're authors, paranormal and UFO researchers, and they're experiencers themselves. They're founders of the Michigan UFO Contact that happens every year in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the end of September. And they're also owners and managers of Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings Vodcast on YouTube, and of the Mystical Awakenings Metaphysical Store in Houghton Lake, Michigan. Next, we have Deb Jordan Cobble, aka Deb 2. She was the central figure in Bud Hopkins' international bestseller, Intruders, The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods, which was made actually into a CBS miniseries in 1992. She's co-author of the book Abducted, The Story of the Intruders Continues, and author of Extraordinary Contact, Life Beyond Intruders. She's a former Indiana MUFON investigator and co-founder of her own paranormal group, Paranormal Underground. Hi, everyone. How are you guys tonight?
Hello. Good. Hanging in there.
Here.
Yeah.
It's good to see all of you guys.
For sure, as usual.
As usual.
Everybody staying out of trouble?
No.
Seeing you guys.
And we even have the whole crew here tonight.
I know.
Woo. Woo for the crew.
You can't beat
Woohoo
that.
for the crew.
Yeah. So, what a
So, this regression is a continuation of the last two episodes. This part is where we tapped into the subconscious part and started asking questions, and then asking questions where I channeled for her galactic family to get some answers.
Okay.
So if you guys remember from last week's episode, we had started tapping into the subconscious and going over the questions that I had channeled. And the first part was, they showed me 3 ships, 3 crafts in the sky. And so it was getting the answers to what, of why they're so important for her. So that was like the biggest question was, okay, so what are these ships to her? And why does she need to be able to recognize them at a certain point?
Okay.
They're just helping. Some of them, I think, like me. I can't tell, but they're not hurting me. Now, if there ever comes a time where she needs to leave the planet, who will be the ones that come to get her? Those ships. So those 3 ships are there for, is this how she'll know when it's time to leave, as she sees them?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys told me about the ships, and when I wanted to know from you why it's important, you told me this is all about it being the way home. Is that what you mean? That's what they told me a long time ago. That's what they told you a long time ago? A long time ago, they told me we were going home. They told me we were going home and they were going to come and take us home. Not everybody. And so they're just showing you what the ships are going to look like then? Yeah.
Did she say whatever, buddy?
She said not everybody.
Not
Oh, not everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
thought
that's
she was
what we
like,
kind of talked about before.
yeah.
If that comes, then there's just going to be some people who either aren't awakened enough to go or just choose not to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
When she said that, I don't know, there was something in her voice that I went immediately to Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz when she's emotionally saying, I just want to go home.
Right.
Yeah. That it popped in my head, that image of Judy Garland. I just want to go home. And I
Like
thought, I just want to go home. Come back and
Yeah.
get me.
Right.
Yeah, I can see why you'd feel that. She was very emotional.
I know.
And it seems like that's her focus and what she really desires is to.
That's what I felt. She never said that's what she desired, but
Right.
somehow in
Right.
a sound of her voice, I felt that was something she wanted. You, like you promised me you would come and get me. You know, I could be wrong, but that's the feeling I got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can relate to that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, but my favorite music artist is John Anderson, the lead singer of Yes. And I've told some of you this. He has a song called 3 Ships. If you ever want to look it up, play it. It is about spaceships too. So.
Oh, okay.
And I do believe he's a starseed.
Yeah, sure.
Nothing public about that I know of,
Yeah.
but he's,
Anyway, so, gosh, her again, she's really, really, really emotional.
Yeah.
And she's just, I mean, like you said, Deb Gobble, she just longs for home. She wants to go home. And it's like she knows people there are waiting for her or something.
What is her experience as when she's not under hypnosis? How does she feel when she's not going through this?
A lot of anxiety.
Okay, I was curious about that. How it comes out prior to maybe her knowing this all went on or whatever.
Yeah, and it just, even through, the last regression I did quite a while ago, you're always getting the sense from her that she's been made promises that if she comes here to do all this work, she's going to be able to go back home. But I think, with people who have had experiences but maybe not explored it, they spent all that time building up that anxiety, experiencing things that they have no explanation for.
Right.
So they just think, well, this has just been a really crappy life. Where, and it shows in her regression where she's waiting for them to fulfill that promise.
Yeah.
You told me that this is what's going to happen, that you're going to come and get me, but still nobody's coming to get her.
A lot of people walk around their lives feeling this way. There's actually words for this. Like in German, it's called Fernweh.
Yes.
And Hareth, I think in Welsh, it means you long for a place you've never been.
Yes.
But that's, you don't remember consciously having been there, but it's that longing. You can't shake that. I myself have experienced that my entire life. And a lot of people walk around and don't and have that feeling, and they don't know about, if they've had experiences or not. They're not in this genre, you know what I mean? But yet they still feel that. So I think it's all connected,
Yeah, and I think it's our souls and our consciousness that has been
That's what I was gonna say,
came from somewhere else that
because the
we
soul
long to be at.
knows.
Yeah, the soul knows. But we had to pick up these apartments on along the way. But
I saw Dana raising her hand.
yeah,
Does Dana miss the Mantis planet?
Hey,
I know it's only in the first 5 minutes, but
listen. Maybe, but I don't know. Like, since young childhood, I've never felt I was here.
Right.
I've always used to tell my parents that you're not really my parents. I'm just here, like, you are this time. Or I'd say weird things like that. No wonder my dad was always doing this. But I never felt I belonged here ever. And I still, even at my advanced ancient age, still feel somewhat that way, but now it's more directed. So I believe I live more in the past, like with movies and things like I go backward. I don't like looking forward, which is weird.
So I heard a interview. This guy was talking about in 1998, and he was describing the future and what's now. And you know how time is speeding up? It seems like everything's speeding up, right?
Off and on.
Yeah, off and on. And it says that the universe is telling us it's time to catch up. And that's why everybody's coming here to visit, to get us on that higher frequency. And the worst is getting worse and the best is getting better. And whatever train you want to ride is up to you, because you got to get on it, though. You got to buy your ticket. So it's like, because we know, and I think a lot of us have that feeling that we're not from here. I think more and more of us came here recently because we're getting ready for this ascension thing, whatever's going to happen, and getting ready, other people ready for it, because it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen pretty soon. But so
We better step on it.
well, yeah, it's tricky. It's a really tricky situation. But the thing about it is, everything is we're raising our vibration, and it's getting faster and faster, because that's the vibration out here that everybody else that on the higher planes are on. And so we've got to get used to that vibration. That's those faster type of whatever. And I don't want to say faster. I want to say more energetic.
Yeah, higher vibration. I just want to throw out there real quick that, like Deb and Dana, and possibly Mary and RJ as well, all my life I always felt like I didn't fit. Why am I here? Who do I belong? I used to tell my parents I wanted to go home, but for me, I did come into this life remembering a past life. So that home at that time was Australia. But I dealt with that most of my life. But once I realized I'm here on a mission as a soul using this temporary vehicle, it's not so hard anymore knowing I'm here, because now I know why I'm here. No, I'm not. I don't think most of us are from here. We're souls, and that's what physical space, we're narrowing. But that with that realization, for me came a lot of peace and calm, because now I know why I'm here. Does that make sense? And I'm hoping that, the woman being regressed is listening to that as well, and I hope she finds that peace and calm too.
And like you said, Dana, you hope that they speed it up. Well, we have to realize that all of us here, we have to speed it up too, that want to get onto this, because it's going on. The train's coming, man. If you don't have a ticket to get on, you're going to be wherever you're at. But everybody needs to step it up, because we came here to do this. raise these vibrations and show that there is a different type of life and frequencies going on. But yeah, I agree with you. And I think the faster we speed it up, the faster they'll speed it up. Yeah.
It's just me and my trust issues. But
I know. Well, we came here and there was not a lot of trusting people here who was running the programs.
I don't trust in the human race as much as
Yeah.
I should, I think is what it is.
Well,
I get it.
because we're not fully a part of that, possibly.
But as we're on the spiritual path, all of us, we've noticed we don't have the same friends we had before. I mean, most of us don't.
I've got
I still have
two friends from my junior high, and that's it.
Yeah, I got about 2 friends too, and but that's because we've changed and our frequency's different, and we've connected with people on those same changes. So that's part of the gig, man.
That it is.
Yeah.
All right. So for this next one, the next thing I had channeled was they had told me that this person was a part of disclosure. So I wanted to know what was meant by that. Because I feel like we're all part of disclosure in some shape or form, right? Whether it's just an experiencer sharing their story or people providing outreach, things like UFO Con. So I wanted her to be able to figure out, more answers about what her part of it is. So
what did you guys mean when you told me that is part of disclosure? They did this to a lot of us, the doctors, something here was feeding off of us. So there's energy here that's feeding off you. There's people here that feed off star seeds. People like us. They feed off us. And they don't want to let it happen anymore. Some of them love us. And they don't think that we deserve to be treated so. So there's certain species that try to prevent things here from feeding off your energy. Yeah. What things here feed off your energy? I don't know what they are. I don't see them all the time. Because I have so many of the protectors around me. They use me, though. They use me to draw them out.
Okay, as a test, what do we call these things? Remember we talked about them.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, Archon. No.
Archons, there you go. Archons, you get it? Get that lady?
Energy vampires,
Right.
Ex-husbands. I got a couple.
I didn't say it.
I did.
I did not say it.
Yeah. But I'm with Dana. I was going to say there's a lot of humans on this planet who do draw, and some aren't even aware that they do it. Some are, but they draw the energy from people.
Mm-hmm.
People. And
it's because they don't have enough of
that's
their
energy
own.
vampires. Right.
And it's not even necessarily in a negative way. There's some who will just drain the crap right out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like, man, I gotta go. I mean, you just gotta come out and say it. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, love is the highest vibrational energy, and a lot of star seeds are very loving. So that's,
But we're also very empathic, and sometimes other people's negative energies just wears you out trying to shield yourself from it, for one thing, so that it doesn't seep into you. I mean, that's draining, in and of itself. But also, you want to help everybody, and there's a part of you that, I don't know, I guess part of me that feels like I'm failing them in some way because I can't. And I have to
Right.
remind myself, some people are not for me to save. That's their job,
Right.
But I'm very maternal, and I want to, rock everybody to sleep and all that good
With
stuff.
or without a rock.
Or with or without a chair.
It's
All right, get
funny,
asleep.
Yeah.
funny you saying that, Deb, because look at Mary, Mama Mary.
Yeah.
That's for a reason. I've been known as the paramama for 30 years around here.
All the young paranormal groups that I ran
That's
with when
for
I
a
first
reason.
got into paranormal, they
Well,
called me
what the
Mama
hell's
Deb.
wrong with me? I'm Rowan's mama for 22 years.
That's
maybe
the
you don't
best
want to
mama
say
right there.
everybody. I think it's
I
just
am kind of a mother. I'm a mother hen with.
You're mothering the folks in your life right now.
Yeah.
right. But
That's
normally,
you do
mother
you're
people.
taking care. Mothers take care of others. That's
Yeah.
what we
The
do.
nurturers, the
Instinctively, naturally, automatically, without even thinking about it. It's like
It's
we
not
just
easy.
know that's what we got to do.
Right.
Being a mother and a nurturer is the hardest job in the world. Honestly, I think
It is.
so.
I'm staying on task.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like Mary said, it's not always in a negative way, though. Sometimes, people just really need love. They really need understanding. They're not
definitely.
trying to, they're not intentionally draining from you, but we so freely give it that it does drain.
I would really like to meet this lady.
Yeah.
I really would. I think she's very in tune, but just when she's not hypnotized or regressed, she's just I can see she's probably very nervous about even talking about it or talking to anybody or getting worried about getting taken advantage of or about somebody just saying she's crazy or whatever, like the rest of us. But
She definitely needs a group of like-minded people
yeah,
that she can feel safe with
yeah,
and, be able to express herself. Because for me, just doing the regression work with her and seeing the levels of the regressions and where she goes during the regressions, she's at a very high vibrational frequency,
yeah.
but the anxiety from the unknown just really tears her down. And if she can just get rid of that or find a way to tone it down, she's going to do amazing things because she's going to see her real purpose
Well, if
of
she's
why
listening,
she's experiencing it.
if she's listening, please get a hold of us. I mean, somehow, some way, we just or meet somewhere, something, do something. So, and we can be there. Mary, you can be there. She's in Michigan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you guys can drive over for the night, Dana. Just kidding.
Not really that hugely far away.
I'm just
going
kidding.
on, but
Just kidding. So yeah, I'd like to meet her. I mean, I think, like you said, Mary, she needs to be around some people that she can just express herself.
Right.
And people that she knows she can trust.
Right.
So it's important.
Yep.
And that's why we do what we do, because that is, it's so difficult living, working, dealing with the third dimensional world and having experiences and having certain knowledges. You feel like you can't talk to anybody. And you feel like the weirdo. And, that just kind of adds to the whole feeling of I don't belong here.
That it does.
We all need to get to that point where
I've learned growing up that I can talk to the best of 3D stuff if you want to get around the guys. Look at that motor, man. That is just the coolest thing in the world, and look at that hot rod, whatever, But
Look at me smash a beer can on my
Yeah, I'm
forehead.
not that way. But I can play that game, but I'm not that way, Oh, that's a good
Do you
Well,
get like a southern twang when you do that too?
I think it's a past life. It's a past life thing.
Maybe.
But, yeah. But you know, look at that
That
grass.
Jethro.
Yeah, you cut that grass so good. I can't believe it. But you know, I can play that game if I have to, but I'm not that way. So
I'm gonna start calling you Jethro.
just call me Jed.
For short.
All right, so for this next one, you remember in the last clip she was talking about how all the star seeds have these energy vampires, whatever they are, that's draining their energy. So we kind of get more into that, exactly what are they doing, why, and hopefully moving her closer to answers of, being better able to protect herself from that kind
So
of
they kind of
energy.
use you as bait. I'm bait. What happens after they draw them out? They can tag them and follow them too, like they did to us. They'll find where they are, and they'll get them, and they'll make them pay for what they did to the children. They'll make them pay for what they did to us, because it was never meant to happen. We weren't meant to be used that way. They abused us to get us like this. They abused us. They weren't supposed to. And they know they weren't supposed to. So they watch. And they kind of let us go through horrible shit so they can find them.
Wow.
Now that sounds not so positive.
No, and is she talking about two different groups here? I mean, she talks about the people that she wants to go home to, but these people are those people, are they?
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's kind of like a mixture of feelings, right? So
Shit.
it's like the star seeds were created, but my take on it, my feel on it is more like it wasn't thought through, right? So we created these star seeds, and they're here for a purpose. We're raising the vibration, but they also didn't, there's no recognition that there's going to be some kind of negative entities out there that are going to try to draw from that light, because that's what they feed on. My question is so where do the negative energies come from? Do they come from source too?
If there's positive, there's got to be negative. So yeah, I would think so.
In certain levels of dimensional levels, there's a positive and negative. I think once you start to get into the fifth, what I've read, that you get rid of that. But here, the fourth dimension, the third dimensions, there's good and bad. That's what we're here. That's just like a school. You can't recognize the one without the other.
Right.
And I don't think those beings are fifth dimensional beings. Are just high tech, maybe third and fourth dimensional beings.
But is she talking about the beings that are working with her?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, guys. There's two different groups here.
It's a little confusing because
why would you want to go home to someone that's
that
way?
Right.
All of a sudden she's talking about you're supposed to take me home, but then all of a sudden these other ones are just farming us out.
But is it other ones? I mean, yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
I'm just not sure.
I mean,
they screwed up. They didn't think it through all the way.
Yeah.
So now there's star seeds, or whatever you want to call these, us, them, whatever, that are not coping well with
what's
the
going
aftermath
on.
of that not being thought out. So maybe that's why so many people are running around not even knowing that they're that.
Yeah.
And they're suffering from anxiety or other mental disorders.
Yeah.
Not understanding why they're feeling these things. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right. Or addictions.
I was including that, but not outwardly saying it.
Yeah. And shit, they sent us down here to straighten their stuff up. And I said shit again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Where I get around you guys, I just get a potty mouth.
Yeah, Mary's gonna be like
Yeah.
beep, 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 beep.
So, but it's like we were sat here to straighten everything up, and we're only given that much information.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, I do strongly feel we're here to raise the vibrations and spread information and all of that.
It's not easy.
But like Mary was saying, it wasn't thought through the emotional aspect of a human being, and the energy, because we are energy. So it's hard on us at an emotional level, at a third dimensional level, having everything being drained and not fitting in and all of that. So maybe they don't have that emotional capacity the way that we do.
So, is there two different groups we're talking about here? I'm just curious.
Yep. Yeah. She was talking about, she's talked about the grays, and the grays are more just kind of like the in between.
Yeah.
So, the workers, like we talked about before, we've heard that said before, that the grays are just there to do the work. And then, she talks about the ones where she came from in general. And then she talks about the negative ones. So it's like these in-betweens, it's almost like the grays are kind of stuck in between trying to fix everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
they can't, because it's just too far gone with the negative energy. What if, and I'm just throwing this out there, what if there's like two different like sources of consciousness, one that's positive and one that's negative, and we've been doing this war for who knows how long, over and over and over again, and starseeds are just being thrown into the mix, and with no memory of a past life, they're just thrown into a mix of all this energy with some kind of deep-rooted knowledge that somewhere they're supposed to fix it, but they don't know how.
I had heard a lot of people talking about they set up certain sections of the universe. Some have free will sections. And, in the free will section, shit, anything can go. I mean, what am I saying shit all the time? I'm sorry.
Hey, you're doing it again.
I know. I don't know why I'm doing this.
He's going crazy.
Potty mouth.
Oh,
So anyway, I've been hanging around Cobble too much.
No,
Don't blame me.
So
that would be different words.
I'm trying to be quite. Yeah, they'd be the words.
but they set up, and this is a free will zone we're in, and so in the free will zone, it's kind of like some people misuse their free will.
very true.
Well, okay, but they throw us down here. We don't remember anything. That's a bad experiment. That's an experiment gone bad.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for trouble. These people are wandering around. And like Deb said, maybe these are addiction issues, mental health issues, that they're going to shrinks, and the shrinks are telling them this, that, and the other thing, or they're going into rehab, when actually they're never going to feel not lost because they don't remember.
Yeah.
That's a very poor plan.
Why some of us do past life regression and stuff. Because the soul
I have had one of
remembers.
those before, but what I'm saying is the majority of people in the world are not like us, not paranormally involved, or maybe they find themselves later in life getting more involved in it. But by that point, they've already gone through how many years of life, feeling that feeling of not fitting, not being happy because they don't know what their purpose is. That's sad to me.
Yeah.
Bad decision making. I'm going to have to talk to these other tribes.
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, it's
Get it together. Let's go.
Right.
maybe that's what's going on. Hopefully,
It could be the reason for a lot of people, anxiety is through the roof everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it. Who knows?
Could be.
You need an HR manager.
There you go.
Right. Well, hopefully we are evolving to where we're going to get to the point where,
Yes.
it all kind of comes together and they can,
We get out of this.
others can
Yeah.
understand us as well.
Mm-hmm.
In a free will zone, you can take either road, the bad one or the good one. It's up to you.
It's all about those timelines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which
And I mean,
ones you choose to jump on.
Yeah. And in the hopes that everybody just realizes there's just one right way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, love. But we're getting there. God dang it, we're getting there. And I didn't swear.
This time.
Little.
Mary's like,
I heard the small catch though before you said dang.
I know. My subconscious is.
Okay.
So with this next one, and she talks about the Greys and how they really work at trying to protect her energy, and other star seeds also, where they're trying to set up some kind of defense. They're trying to protect the star seeds from being so drained by the negative things that are out there, the negative beings, whatever you want to call them, entities, interdimensional beings. I'm sure there's more than just one kind, right?
Right.
So unfortunate for those star seeds who have to encounter several different kinds. But this next one talks about how the Greys try to protect.
Oh, good. Because
The gray beans let you go through that so they could find the other ones. I don't think they're in charge. But they're not the ones hurting me. I know that. They're after somebody else.
So they're trying to protect you from the ones that are hurting you.
Yeah.
And the ones that were hurting you were never supposed to draw off your energy, but they did it anyway?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just wanted understanding with that.
They weren't supposed to do this to any of us. We were here to help usher in the new world, and they decided to, siphon us.
Why did they decide to feed off of you? What was the purpose of them feeding off you if you were there to help with the new world?
I don't think it's for them. I don't think they're set up for it.
Oh, so they were
can't
just
handle it.
they were just there.
They don't want to die. They don't want to let go.
Okay.
They don't want to go. None of us want to go. Really,
So if they keep draining you, it keeps you from that purpose.
Yeah.
Won't be the first time we've heard that before.
Right.
Keep
Right.
people on a low vibration so they can't serve their purpose and fulfill a mission.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I just get this feeling that we're dealing with a lot of different species out there. They have an interest here. A lot of different ones.
Well, I mean, look at planet Earth.
Yeah.
How many species of things are on this planet? Thousands. Literally.
Everybody wants a piece of it.
You want a piece of me?
Yeah.
how many races of human beings are there,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point.
there's got to be just as many. There's got to be a lot more races of other things out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably tens of millions. Probably.
Right. Right.
That's a whole lot.
And they will
And
all
everybody
have their
got-
own agenda.
Exactly. And everybody's got a different plan or a different desire.
Mm-hmm.
Agenda.
Agenda. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she kind of mentioned it there that it came across to me that one of them was trying to save their own species through us or something. Did you get that?
They don't
Right.
want to die.
They don't want
Right.
to die. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and I'm again, I think this is because they chose a lifestyle where they were just cloning themselves, and it wears out. They became so smart and intelligent, not spiritual so much, that they forgot about their spirituality and forgot about their emotions and all that. They got rid of that.
Kind of like AI with us.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe they are AI. Maybe they are like part AI, part biological. They got to that point. So, and that's what scares the hell out of you when you talk about AI. So well, I think we've been down this road before in the past. With Atlantis and all that, and I didn't think it came. They didn't use it right. So,
Which is why it's under the water.
Uh-huh.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
I
they
got
say
that
that
in my past life regression, by the way, Mary.
Yeah,
that was your past life regression was
Atlantean.
Atlantis.
Yep.
yeah.
That's cool.
I was some kind of a high priestess, but I was virginal,
Go
and
figure.
I thought we didn't.
Yeah, right.
That must have been a long time ago. But anyway, that was the very first one I had, which is like 30 years ago, 40
Right.
years ago. That
Right.
came up.
Well, I mean, and so yeah, I mean, there's other programs going on too. I mean, there's the program that put us here to raise the vibrations. There's a program that's no, you're not going to do that, and we're just going to feed off you, and making sure that you're as numb as can be. And then there's the ones that are using our DNA and our other parts to better their lives. And then who knows what else.
Well, and we've had other shows where there's beings who really are trying to create, use our DNA with their DNA to create the more balanced, perfect being.
And I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
that.
I'm fine
As
with
long
that,
as
too.
they're not doing it like the way they used to do it.
Right.
They used to
Right.
grab people and probe
Right.
and
Yeah.
do horrible things, really.
Dana, I heard that they switched that to the point where they're supplying the DNA, and they give it to people down here that work on humans.
We probably need to be.
with that DNA. So instead of the abduction thing, because they know people are really not into that, they just volunteer to give their DNA down here, and secretly behind doors, people are being hybrided. Is that a word?
Which explains why, like, a 5-year-old can fix my computer without blinking an eye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My son
Right.
was that way. And I'm like, how did you even know how to do that? There's no explanation for that to me.
Same here. My granddaughter, she got her first computer when she was 5. I didn't turn
Yeah.
my first computer on until I was 35.
Right.
I don't know. He figured it out. I don't know.
Yeah. Everyday life is changing so fast. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what today is tomorrow's going to be different. The next day's going to be different.
Yeah.
We just gotta-
No, and I think it's all for a reason. I think there is a timeline. It's all happening, how and when it's supposed to. We're the ones that say, hurry up. But it's,
For good reason.
process.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But
I'm not going to defend myself on that
Well,
one.
my reason is I'm 70 years old this year. Come on with it.
right, but soul wise, there's a difference. Yes, these physical beings want to see all of it now. Absolutely. But on a soul level, it's a whole different ballgame. We're doing what we have to do. But yeah, the physical me, I want to be able to push a button and have a steak or a prime rib and, have my body parts not falling to Mother Earth and all of that stuff.
I'm all into walking into a pool of water and coming out, and I look like 10 years younger. I'm all into that. Come on with it.
Heck
Bring it
yeah.
on.
Let's do it now. I do feel that way. But yeah, I don't know. If
It's
we're
there.
gonna-
I'm telling you, whatever you can think about, they've got. I'll tell you. And more.
The soul knows a whole lot more than these physical brains.
That it does.
I just wish we'd get it together.
Yeah, we're trying, I think.
And, people like Dana with the impatience, that's helping, I'm sure, to push.
I'm not the only
push
one.
it. No, I said people like that.
No, I'm impatient. I have to admit.
I think it is for a reason.
I'm getting a little,
I get aggravated with the whole thing of, well, you guys already know it. It's the whole thing is just not how I personally would handle things.
Yeah.
I don't like BS. I don't like smoke screens. I don't like the sneaking in the middle of the night business, landing in your backyard, sending the men in black. Come off it already.
Yeah. Just knock on my door and ask me if I want to go. Sure. What are you going to do? Well, we're just going to tweak a little things and check in.
I guess my part of it is the aggravation. It's not even impatience. It's aggravation with the systems that are used or the way that they go about things.
Mm-hmm.
That's my own personal problem.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, something's going on. I just come on with it. Come on with it.
That's it. And I'm like that with people as well. It's not just with this particular subject. I am also that way with people.
Right.
I meet people that are very dodgy, and I have no time for that anymore. It's like, whatever.
I hear you.
It's a personality flaw on my part.
No, I think more people should be like that. They should be just upfront and talking.
Yeah, I don't do passive aggressive well at all.
Right.
And the first time that is tried on me, I never see them again. Because I'm pretty
so shocked by that admission.
I'm not doing anything to them. They just go away. I promise.
Oh my, no. Really?
Anyway.
All right, so for this last clip, I had channeled a blue alien species. The interesting thing about what I saw when I was channeling was, it felt female, but she was in like a pioneer dress, which was, it don't make sense.
Was Laura Ingalls?
Could
They
be.
look very comfortable. Yeah.
It could be Dorothy Lost in Time.
Half pint coming in.
So the next thing that you guys showed me is I saw a blue alien being. She looked female. She was all blue, but I saw her with some type of pioneer type dress on.
Oh, fuck.
Who is she?
I don't know, but my book was about the pioneers. The pioneers. The pioneers of New Eden, and I'm not supposed to tell, but they know, and that's why they're after me, and they want me to die. Because I know about the new world. They don't want New Eden to come, because it means they don't get to fuck around anymore.
What kind of steps can you take with this blue being to protect yourself from the ones who want to stop the New Eden?
That one's really tall, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who knows? They feed off us. They think it will give them access.
It'll give them access to what?
To the new
It'll
world.
give them access.
Yikes.
Holy
Wow.
crap.
Oh my God.
See, don't worry about your language, RJ. You're all right.
Yeah, I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah.
Tell us how she really feels.
Yeah. So, what'd you feel about this pioneer thing, Mary? What do you think she's trying to say?
Well, she was writing a book, and the title of it was Pioneers. I didn't realize that. I know
Wow.
she had stopped writing the book, so I think the reason that they're bringing it up is for her to start writing it again, It's like she had all these things happen and the fear just kind of took over completely. So I think it's their way of telling her, start writing that book again.
But she said
Because
they were going to kill
energetically
her.
they're going to come after her anyway. So she might as well finish it.
Oh, okay. And okay, so she was saying that if she wrote the book, they were going to kill her.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that just comes more from fear.
Right.
Just like, through the last couple episodes and even in this episode or it's the next one, she talks about how they want to eat her. And I don't really think they want to eat her. It's energetic, right? They want to sap the energy and not actually eat her. But I think, that's probably their goal is to take that vibration down so far that it prevents her from finishing something that other people will see and think about, especially when you call it New Eden. That's not something I've heard it called before.
Right.
That's a first for
Looked
me.
it up.
Which you
I looked it up.
And
She said it. Yeah, and it's biblical.
It reminds me of New Bethlehem out of The Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
So I'll
that's-
read you what the top
Ditto.
thing says. Is New Eden can refer to a few different things, including a fictional cluster of star systems in the video game Eve Online, which is a religious concept of a renewed paradise.
Huh.
But there's other stuff too. So even that particular thing is from that. You don't know who made that video game. Maybe it's based on something we don't know about.
right.
True.
I'm not saying she's making it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that at all. But it's with David Isaiah and New Eden. So those are the players in that particular part of the Bible. So it is a biblical thing as well. Yeah. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of stuff on New Eden in here. You'd have to probably dig through it. But there are a few games. There's a board game and an online or computer type game. But again, anything like that, you don't know who created those games.
right. And if it's biblical,
And if
it's been around.
it's
for a long
biblical,
time,
like for
so-
real biblical.
How about this? Revelation 21:4. God will wipe away every tear from people's eyes, and there will be no more death, sorrow, crying, or pain. So, talking about the new heaven, new heaven on earth. So maybe the new Eden, But yeah, you pulled up that pioneer thing, and it just freaked her right out because that's where you didn't know she was.
I would have freaked out too if I'd have
Yeah.
pulled that up,
Yeah,
Mary.
because you didn't know she was writing a book like that, did you?
Right.
Right?
No.
And do you know, Mary, when she was working on this book, was she having known experiences at the time?
That I'm not sure. From what it sounds like, she's, from a young age has had experiences.
Yeah.
At this stage, I think like she was more spiritually in tune.
Yeah.
She felt like she was heading down the right direction. She was very spiritual. She was helping others. And then all of a sudden, like everything just crashed around her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's probably had all these all her life, these
Right.
experiences. But
Well, I
wasn't aware of it.
I just wondered, I mean, people like her definitely, most likely, have been having experiences all of their lives. I just wondered if she had known, physically known why she was doing it.
I think she did to an extent, just like, anybody who's on that spiritual path, right?
Mhm.
She definitely has a bigger calling that she was following, but got pulled away from.
Right.
And it's like when it always seems like when she starts to tap into it or starts to research things or, starts to get back into that balance, something else happens and jerks that vibration down. And now she's just at that point where she holds on to so much fear. It's hard for her to, get back on the wagon, get back on the ladder, whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
so that she can get back to that person she used to be before, she had all that negative energy or entities try to drag her down,
Yeah.
hold her captive.
Yeah. And if they can keep us in a fear state, that is the lowest negative emotion. I mean, fear is definitely the opposite of love. So, it's easy to keep us fearful and low vibrating.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Lots of wows there. She's going through a lot. But I'm really hoping through doing all of this work, all of these regressions, and, I'm sure she's been able to talk with you after regressions.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that she can let go of some of that fear and realize I think she does. She's the type of person that does realize her true mission. But let go of that fear so you can.
Have you noticed that?
What you need to do,
Mary? That she's getting a little more. Not yet. She's got a lot more.
Well, this was only the second regression.
Oh, okay.
So my
really
hope
trying
is
to
that
figure
she'll
out.
continue.
Yeah.
I think we're still in the process of discovery.
Right.
So I had this experience, and through the regression work, I'm going to see what really happened.
Right.
So really, it's more that mental state of being able to process it and where she's at. She did seem more at peace when we were done with this regression. We did a lot of when we tapped into the subconscious, and after I asked all the questions, we did do a lot of healing work, going through the chakras and releasing some of those blocks, some of that fear, so that moving forward, she's a little bit more balanced and able to absorb the information that's coming, because, and Deb knows this, anytime you do regression work, it takes a while to process it, regardless of what kind of regression it was. And then things just kind of happen to you or pop up. And if you're attuned enough, you can see that it's connected with the regression work that you did. And, it takes a while. A lot of times if I'm doing a regression with somebody over and over again, it's probably once a year, twice a year. But I think it takes that long to process everything you've just experienced. And then that opens up more memories of, wait a minute, I experienced this too, and now I have memories that are being triggered, or I'm having dreams, and then to the point where it builds up, then you explore it all over again.
Right.
Could you guys hear us okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because our microphone, we just realized, was way over there on the other side of the table. So I don't know how that's going to come out. We'll see.
Sound fine to me.
Nope, I can hear you just fine.
All right, cool.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, Mary. And again, I hope she's listening, because I think that, she's so ready. She's so ready. And she's going to make a difference.
Well, she's got a lot to get out, though. A lot of emotion.
Just by doing what she has done with these regressions, getting this information out is making a difference.
That's why I'd like to meet her. I really would. Yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
Because she's made comments to that fact. So
cool.
Good.
Oh, cool.
Good. Yeah. In regression work, I mean, sometimes it can take years, really, to process all of it and to make it work in your life the way it's supposed to.
Yep, it's all about the process.
Yep. And it's kind of, to me, it's a way of, the soul meeting the physical, because the soul has all this memory.
Yep.
The physical doesn't. So you kind of have to bring that together so your soul can do the work and your physical can do the work that your soul needs it to do. People are going to be going, she is freaking nuts. But I know what I mean.
Yep, it makes sense.
Yeah. So kudos to her. Definitely.
Well, that was a good one.
Yep, that's all we have for tonight. So you guys have a good night, and we'll see everybody next week.
Love you all.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.